Guys, it's Madison. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing an editing vlog. I just started offering editing services on Fiverr and I kind of forgot about it for a couple weeks because I hadn't heard anything and I just wasn't thinking about it with everything else going on. And then I got 2 clients on the same day. My first client has an 84,000 word manuscript and she wanted my opinion on what kind of editing services she thinks that her work needs. So she sent me a 7,000 word sample and I'm going to be giving her a sample of my proofreading services and my manuscript evaluation services, in addition to telling her what overall editing services I think that her story needs. My second client has a 14,000 word short story and they want my opinion on whether or not I think that they should expand it into a novel or novella, or whether or not I think that they should trim it and make it a more appropriate length short story. I haven't decided yet. I'm only about 3,000 words into their story and I don't think I'm going to have an answer for them until I finish reading it, because it isn't until I'm done with the story that I'm going to know what parts were important, what parts could be trimmed, if any, so I'm not going to know that until I finish it. It has already been kind of a crazy morning this morning. We took the dogs out for a walk and it started pouring on us in the middle of the walk. So we came home, had to wash the dogs because they were soaking wet, had to wash ourselves because we were wet, and it was just a very, it was a brutal way to wake up this morning. And this is really random, but all day today I have had that song from SNL stuck in my head, that weird little flute song, just constantly on loop in my head. Every moment I'm not editing, the song just starts playing again. So it's kind of frustrating. Even though it's a good song, it's just won't leave my brain. I even listened to it whenever I took a 5-minute break earlier, because I've already been editing for a couple hours today. And I took a 5-minute break and played that song thinking maybe now that I played it, it'll be out of my head, but it's not. It's still stuck in there. Oh, I just heard something pop whenever I reached over to turn the camera off. Oh my gosh, it popped so bad. I don't know, I think I might need to get a new computer chair because we've had this one forever, before we even moved in this house. And I've just noticed my shoulders have been hurting a lot more now that I've been writing more, even whenever I take breaks. So I think that I need more back support. Yeah, look what I've got going on right now. I've got, yeah, I'm using this pillow as support and it's not great. Maybe the pillow's a little bit too plushy. I don't know. Maybe I should try one of the pillows I sleep on. It's just, at first I was having lower back pain because, you know, I think I was just hunching over too much and I wasn't getting any back support, and now I'm getting pain right behind my neck, right in this area. So yeah, I think it might be time for a new computer chair. I'm gonna go ahead and get started editing because I have a lot of work to do today. In addition to giving the first client feedback on whether or not she wants editing services, I want to do a really good job with the sample edit so that she has an idea of what she's going to be getting if she decides to buy my proofreading packages after her manuscript evaluation. And I also want to do a really good job with my other client. I mean, obviously you always want to do a good job, but since these are my first 2 clients on Fiverr, and also because these are both samples that are going to make them decide whether or not they want to use my services in the future, just really want to do a really thorough job. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so I need a break because my neck is killing me. But yeah, so right now I'm working on the 14,000 word short story, the one where the person wants to know whether or not they should make it a novella or a short story. I'm kind of leaning towards short story because I feel like there's a lot of characters in this story and most of them aren't developed that much. I kind of get a sense of their personalities, but I'm not sure what purpose they have in the story. Although, depending on what happens in the story, that might change later. But right now it kind of feels like there's a bunch of characters for such a short story. And I'm thinking maybe once this person cuts a few of these characters out of the story, it'll be a short story length that's appropriate. Now I don't know exactly what the concept is. I'm not going to go into details about what what I've already read, but again, out of respect for the author. But Depending on what the overall concept is for this story. We haven't gotten into the horror element that much yet, but once we get there, if I feel like it's a concept that needs a longer story to fully explore it, I might still recommend turning this into a novella, but right now I'm leaning more towards short story. I really feel like once they cut a few of these extra characters, the story is just naturally going to be a much shorter and appropriate length. So I just finished editing the 7,000 word sample of the 84,000 word manuscript. Most of what I did was formatting changes. For instance, a lot of the dialogue was written in block solid paragraph form, so I went ahead and put it in dialogue format. Rearranging speech tags as I saw fit, as I would do it if it was my own story. I also did a lot of proofreading, spell check, things like that, adding hyphens, changing words that were like numerical form into written word form, just basic proofreading stuff. So I'm about to start the manuscript evaluation on this writing sample. Basically what I'm going to be doing is going over character development, plot progression, pacing, writing style, just everything I can think of in order to help this author make this story as good as they possibly can. And since this is a horror/thriller story, I'm also going to be going over atmosphere and tone because those two areas are incredibly important in horror. One might even argue that if the tone isn't right, it can completely change the genre that you're writing. So I'm going to be going over all of these areas in order to help this author get their story as good as it can be. So I am about to call it a night. It has been a really good, productive editing day. I got a lot done. I didn't even get the 7,000 word sample until today, so I managed to read that, make proofreading edits, and I'm about halfway done with my manuscript evaluation. And I'm almost done reading the 13,000 word story. I've been making proofreading comments and edits as I'm going with that one. I might go ahead and finish reading it just so that I can read it all in one sitting, but I don't think I'm going to do any more like proofreading comments or start the manuscript evaluation until tomorrow. So this isn't really a day in the life vlog. I think this is going to be like, I guess, a 2-day vlog. So I will be finishing these evaluations tomorrow. I will see you then. Hey guys, it's day 2 of editing. Last night I did not finish reading the 13,000 word story. I'm on page 69. Yeah. Giggle snort. Anyways, I'm on page 69 of 82. I'm going to finish reading this first. I'm going to go ahead and keep proofreading as I'm reading. That seems to be working pretty good because the story is actually pretty polished as well as proofreading goes. I am finding some errors here and there, but for the most part it's pretty polished, so there's not a whole lot of proofreading going on right now. I am going to do one more read through with just proofreading and line edits, but for the most part I'm reading to focus on characterization and plot and, just the standard things that I would do in any manuscript evaluation. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the story, and then I'm going to go back to the other story, reread it, both with proofreading in mind and with manuscript evaluation concepts in mind. Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and go over that one more time before I send it back to the author. Done with both clients. I'm about to send their revisions and their manuscript evaluations. Both evaluations ended up being around 1,500 words. I had a lot more thoughts than I realized. So the client that couldn't decide whether or not he wanted a short story or novella, the one that I did 2 revisions for, one being if he wanted to do the short story and one just being general comments, I didn't realize it, but as I was going through cutting things that needed to be cut, there was a lot of other things I was noticing, and I was taking notes, and then I would have to go back to the other document and take notes so that they matched, and oh my god, it was so frustrating. So I'm never doing that again. Live and learn. Yeah, next time if I have a client who can't decide whether or not their story should be a short story or a novel, I think I'm just going to edit it once. They disagree with my decision, which why would you ask if you didn't want to know my decision? But if you disagree, then we can figure that out in the revision. I think that's what I'll do next time. Again, live and learn. This was a learning experience. So for my client that sent me the 7,000 word writing sample, I'm about to send her manuscript evaluation and the revised copy of her writing sample. I'm going to be suggesting to her that she gets a full manuscript evaluation plus one revision before she even starts proofreading. Most of what I did was formatting. I corrected some formatting issues, proofreading, line edits, just so she can see what my services entail, so that if she does decide that she wants to get proofreading services from me, she'll know what she's getting. I also did some developmental edits as well, asking questions about character decisions and story logic and just things that's going to help this author be able to make the story more convincing and things for her to think about as she's revising her manuscript. I'm going to go ahead and end this vlog now because it is 4 in the morning and I am super tired. Thanks so much for hanging out with me as I edited these manuscripts. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I post book reviews, writing advice, and horror commentary on this channel in addition to vlogs. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.